Hello and welcome to this overview of the Pixel Xtream Video Transcoder, where we'll show you how to quickly convert a wide range of video formats for use on the web, mobile devices, and other platforms being used by viewers today. We'll show you how to configure Pixel Xtream so that you can experience for yourself what a powerful yet easy to use addition Pixel Xtream will be to your existing workflow. So let's dive right in. First, let's define some standard terms. At the heart of any Pixel Xtream operation is the job. In Pixel Xtream, a job involves setting the location of the content, identifying the desired output parameters, such as format, desired bitrate, and the encoders to be used, the audio format and video enhancement options, and then applying those parameters in the actual transcoding process. Profiles allow you to create reusable presets to easily apply frequently used sets of actions to any job. And watch folders are basically file folders that are monitored by Pixel Xtream. Whenever content files are added to a watch folder, Pixel Xtream automatically transcodes the content according to the predetermined profile you have designated for that folder. We'll cover watch folders in detail in a few minutes. So let's get started. If you were supplied with a security key for your evaluation, be sure that the USB key is installed. All users should have installed the AC3 decoder as described in the README file. We'll tour the interface in much the same way as your typical workflow, starting at the top and working left to right. First of all, you'll find the ribbon containing your typical pull-down menus for File, Transcode, Settings, Window, and Help. Under the Help is where you'll find your user guide, so when you want to point someone to the manual, you'll know where to send them. Below the pull-downs are the quick start buttons for most of the frequently used activities, such as working with jobs, adding content, and the actual transcoding operation. Below the buttons, you'll see the default Job tab. Job Untitled 1 is the default name, but you'll give it a new name in the next step. Under the Job Name window is where you'll really kick off your job by adding content. By clicking on the Add Files or Add Folders button, you can populate the files you will be transcoding in this job. As you highlight files that you've added to the job, the format details will be listed on the right side of the window. On the pull-down menus under File, you can create new jobs, open existing jobs, save jobs, add files and folders, as well as removing files you decide not to include in the job. Under Transcodes, you can start jobs, preview the currently highlighted file before doing the actual transcoding, and add watch folders. The Settings drop-down is where you define the default settings for watch folders and jobs created through the interface, including the location of the temp folder where content is held before transcoding. This is where you tell Pixel Xtream what formats to look for in the watch folder, how many transcoding slots to make available, in case you want to ensure high-priority jobs have the highest resources available to them. This is also where you enable closed captioning pass-through for applicable formats, and whether you want to enable optional stream choices, as in for language choices. The Windows pull-down menu includes the Log Viewer for monitoring the processes and the Job Queue Manager that manages job scheduling, execution, and report creation. Inside Job Queue Manager are two tabs: Jobs, where jobs are submitted manually through the interface, and Watch Folders, which are jobs submitted automatically according to predetermined parameters. Jobs are set up in the Job Setting area in the lower half of the interface. This is where you assign a name to the job, set its priority, define the type of video enhancement, whether auto or manually configured, and the type of scaling to employ if necessary. Most importantly, this is where you set the location and format parameters of the final output. For local files, you have the option to browse to a local file location and set that as the final destination of the output files. If you're using a remote video server, select the FTP option and enter the FTP server IP address and port, as well as a username and password to access the server. You can also test the FTP connection to ensure the transfer is successful. Next, configure the formats you want for your output by using the drop-down box and selecting the desired output option. You can choose file-based output, UDP streaming, or both. You also set the video parameters to be used depending on the desired encoder type. These are very customizable, including parameters such as levels, frame size and rate, aspect ratio, and number of encoding passes to be made along with a large number of other options. Of course, we all know the deep level of customization with encoders like H.264, all of which are available with Pixel Xtream in the Advanced Settings dialogues. In the audio area, you have many format options as well, depending on the multiplexer selected. For captioning, Pixel Xtream supports pass-through of closed captioning for JPEG 2000, MPEG 2 and 4, and H.264 formats, as well as SRT files, when available for the content being transcoded. And finally, let's return to watch folders. As we mentioned before, watch folders are file folders that are monitored by Pixel Xtream. Whenever content files are added to a watch folder, Pixel Xtream automatically transcodes the content according to the predetermined profile you have designated for that folder. The components of the watch folder consist of the profile, which defines the actions to be applied to the input files, the watch folder directory, which is the input directory monitored by Pixel Xtream, and the output directory, which is the destination of the transcoded content. Keep in mind that each watch folder is assigned a single profile, but the profile can include multiple subprofiles. Each subprofile defines one configuration of output. So here are the steps involved. You should first create your watch folder directory, which may contain as many folders as needed. Each department, type of content, user, etc. can have its own folder. In that directory, create output folders, typically one folder for each type of format being output, as in JPEG 2000, MPEG 2 or 4, AVI, etc. Then create input folders. Input folders can be created for users, departments, content, sources, etc., whatever makes most sense for your environment. Then create the watch folder profile. Name your profile, which is comprised of one or more subprofiles. Create the subprofiles, one for each output format, with all the parameters defined under Job Settings. You can also create and apply preset subprofiles. And finally, create the watch folder. Under the Transcode drop-down, select Add Watch Folder. Once you've added the input folders to the watch folder and hit OK, the operation begins and continues to run until you've deleted the watch folder in the Job Queue Manager. Since the Job Queue Manager is a separate application, you can close Pixel Xtream and the watch folders will continue to be monitored and content transcoded. And that's it for this overview of Pixel Xtream. Thanks for your time, and be sure to send us any questions or comments at the contact points listed on the screen.